Hi, welcome to the video. So this is kind of a follow-on from the last video I did on Nelia, okay? You can see it's kind of sleet, snow outside, so it's a bit dark and stuff. That's why I've got the light on. So one thing I forgot to add into the previous video was a comparison with another individual, that of Atari. In my opinion, I'd say Atari is a perfect example within the Kenny Veach community. I don't mean it in some kind of do-gooder way. I don't mean it in some bright, colourful, positive way. I mean it simply in a realistic way. You know, there'll be some people that won't agree with what she says and does, and then there'll be others that might have a problem with her due to a bit of conflict or tension in the past. But in terms of clarification and communication for most part of it, I would say she's done a good job. Whereas someone like Nelia, the communication breakdown, not always responding, acting in certain ways, contradicting themselves, lying, and then you've got other people as well previously who've come and gone, changed in behaviour, dodginess, really robbing, etc. And yet Atari, she's an example of someone who has been quite hands-on in the mystery, has researched quite a bit, has been quite invested and interested for a while, left quite a few comments, replies, theories, ideas, and even made videos and researched a lot. And she's also a good example of someone who's received resistance, threats, warnings beside me. She has too, and maybe a bit deeper as well with certain people, certain accounts, maybe certain family members, etc. So it goes hand in hand. It makes sense. Someone who's quite involved, might dig far, reach far, will receive, negative attention because they might be onto something, solving stuff. That all checks out. And sure, that might have happened to people previously, hence why they changed in behaviour or went quiet. But the one thing that separates all those from Atari is, as I said, communication. If something goes wrong, she might act on it and then explain afterwards. And it will make sense, it will clear stuff up. As I said, key point, when you're solving a mystery, you don't want to add more to it because it just isn't time efficient and it's confusing. So when Atari has done certain things such as remove a video, privatize some, disable the comments, suddenly stop covering the mystery in general, it normally follows and leads on with, in the community tab, an explanation such as, I've removed all these videos because of the YouTube policy and the copyright system and the ID recognition, the facial stuff. So that's why she did what she did then. And then she returned back and I guess re-uploaded them with different filters to get around it. So there was an explanation there. Solved. And then in more recent time, the odd video or two being privatized because of receiving unwanted attention from certain people. And she explained that. And then in another community tab before she moved to Hawaii, wherever, she said, I can't release any more information at this moment in time because it's too dangerous and I need to get away and then I'll be able to release certain stuff. There we go. It explains it. It explains the absence. It explains why that information people were waiting on has been delayed. Just simple communication like that. It just clears everything up. And I guess in more recent time, with coming to a stop of the mystery for her own reasons and also partly to do with the mystery itself and certain people within it, she explained, not too deep, but explained, and it cleared it up. At the end of the day, you don't have to do a fucking life story about what's going on or what's happening. Not at all. You don't have to describe, you don't have to explain yourself, but just a very, very simple explanation. Can't do this right now because of that, or not in the mood to do that for a while, or stepping back because of this, in very brief notes. That's it. If it was a different community, and it wasn't to do with mysteries, it could be to do with gaming, it could be to do with other kinds of media, maybe drama related stuff, you probably don't have to, you don't really have to explain as much then. But when it comes to a mystery of people who are involved in the mystery, and with previous case studies done and examples of people who have been affected because of the mystery in some way from what we've seen at least, or from what we know of supposedly, if it does happen again and then again, and it does start making you think and then questioning stuff. So if people can, just simply explain and clear things up in brief, it makes it less of a problem. And with Nelia, although she wasn't as hands-on, she still was quite active, and supposedly she's been there and done this and done that. You thought there would have been a bit more communication, but there wasn't. I know J Chuck can be quite defensive of people, like in terms of supporting people. It's not really a bad thing. It shows he's a good person, but sometimes you've got to be realistic and not be too much of a do-gooder or bend over backwards too much, because it can end up backfiring down the line, okay? But yeah, and even me, this is where there'll be confusion, because some people won't bother or can't be bothered to look back at previous videos, but I like to build foundations when it comes to certain stuff. Could be anything, to avoid certain questioning, to avoid certain confusion, to avoid all kinds of stuff. I like to set stuff up in place and plan it appropriately so it makes more sense, and it means I don't have to keep going back. And I already made a video in terms of behaviour and breaks and suddenly stopping and what other people might be doing. I just explain it all in one video so I don't have to really explain myself. So that's what I do. I like to do it early on, so then it's just more efficient, to be honest. So yeah, just a very small video. As I said, Atari is a good example of someone who's been involved, who might have been affected or impacted in some way, or acted on certain stuff, but explained afterwards. So there wasn't confusion, there wasn't an added mystery. And I guess that's what's needed in such a place like this, whereas other people, I wouldn't say, have done so. So yeah.